Now, on some of these, you may get positive or negative answers and decimals and fractions and stuff, so that's okay. Remember, for the first point, I need to make this look like 0. So I'm going to add, whoops, I wrote the wrong thing down. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Okay. And when I do that, I get 5a squared plus 8a. Again, if you're not the greatest with positive and negative numbers, say negative 56 plus, what was it, 50, what did I add? 8, right? Okay, so we're going to add 8. No, multiply. We're going to add 8. And I get negative 48, so equals 0. All right, so this is 1 point. Next point is I need to identify that A equals 5, B equals 8, and C equals negative 48. And so that's 1 point. This is 1 point. The next thing is write out the formula. I'm going to say x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which is negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 5 times negative 48 all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 5. So on the next line down here, I'm going to get negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64, and then 20 times 48 is like 960 or something like that. So I'm going to say negative 4 times 5 times negative 48, positive 960. So plus 960 all over 2 times 5, which is 10. Next line, negative 8 plus or minus the square root of, well, if you're not good with adding numbers like that, 960 plus 64, 1024. Oh, I think that is a perfect square. Let me double check though. Maybe not. No. All right. It could be reduced though, so. But for this particular one, like we could simplify the radical, but for this one, we're just going to do the decimal approximation. So in my calculator, I'm going to do the square root of 1024. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I had a different number than you did.
That's 32. Cool.
I had 1032.
So eight plus or minus 32 all over 10. We still get a decimal, I think, though.
Yeah.
So on the next line, I get x equals negative 8 plus 32 all over 10, which is equal to, is it 24 over 10, which is equal to 2.4. Is it 26? No. 32 minus 8? Let's see. 32 minus 8 is 24. Okay. That's why we always double check on the calculator. And I apologize for going, no! Negative 8 minus 32 over 10. That's negative 40 over 10, which is negative 4. So now, if I graph this bad boy in Desmos, it should cross at 2.4 and 4.2. Oh, I see. There we go. All right, so let's graph it. So I'm going to go back to this original equation, and I'm going to graph that. Remember, I can't use a's. I have to replace it with x's. So I'm just going to say 5x squared plus 8x minus 56 equals negative 8. And it crosses at negative 4 and 2.4 for the x values. How many of you guys got that? Okay. So the nice thing about graphing this is if you make a mistake, like Mr. Adams made a mistake, if you guys make a mistake, when you're all done, if you graph it, you can catch your mistakes. Okay. So remember, to graph this, I don't need anything real fancy, just a XY plane, maybe a little fancier than that. My A value is positive, so that means it's going to open up. It's also going to cross at x equals negative 4 comma 0. And over here it's going to cross at 2.4. Make a bigger, oh, that's bad.